Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A real pleasure to have you here with us in London. Huge congratulations on this absolutely incredible documentary. I guess when you first heard about this concept, this idea of Will and Harper going on this road trip, what was your first thought? Because it's such a beautiful idea, but maybe also quite daunting and very brave on each of their parts for completely different reasons. So
Yeah.
what did you first think?
I was very excited by the idea. It seemed like it tells like a beautiful, sort of pure and very personal story, very intimate. So that excited me as a filmmaker. I think maybe some of my hesitations were also that these are both close friends of mine. This is the first documentary I've made where I knew both my subjects prior. And so there was that kind of fear of like, I, like Harper and Will, didn't know what we would encounter as we did this cross-country trip, because this is Harper's first trip since her transition. And as she says in the film, you know, she loves America. She loves that country, or her country so much, and she wasn't sure if it would love her back. And so I was excited, but I think had some, sort of nervous trepidation about what we'd find out there, let alone figuring out how to make the film, you know, which is was its own challenge. So.
And you put in your statement, that laughter's the shortest distance between two people. And I just wonder how, the fact that, each of them individually, but also their friendship is so based around comedy and the work they've done together.
Yeah.
And how all these moments of levity sort of balance out, these really kind of vulnerable moments,
Yeah.
in their conversations, they flip from one to the other, a joke and then it's something very serious.
Yeah.
And then lots of moments of discomfort, which obviously, again, you didn't know how things were going to unfold, I guess, until you were there. So how important was it for you to balance those things?
Yeah, that was kind of everything. I mean, comedy, as I've said, is sort of their love language. That's how they connect. And to your point, like, I wanted to honor the way they obviously speak with one another. But back to the point of laughter being the shortest distance between two people, I also wanted to make sure I was utilizing that to connect with an audience who maybe don't know if this is a story or a subject matter that's for them. I think through Will, and you'll see in the film, Harper is equally funny, as she'll tell you, more funny than Will. But so it was really critical and important to me that the film really captured the essence of their dynamic, which, as you pointed out, kind of would go from a joke, usually starts with a joke, and then they would find their way into a serious conversation and get deeper and deeper and more open and vulnerable. And then when things get maybe a little too deep or too heavy, they pull the ripcord back to a joke. And I love that, because I think that's also how a lot of us navigate difficult conversations. Certainly those of us who kind of work in the comedy space, but I just think in general. And so it's just relatable to watch the way they kind of navigate through some of these challenging conversations.
And in terms of the impact of a film like this, I mean, I guess, it is a very personal story, and this is much about their journey and Harper's journey. But there is a wider world out there. There is a conversation that needs to happen. And how powerful do you think, the medium of film can be, the medium of documentary can be in helping people have empathy and perhaps understand some of these experiences that they haven't had their, eyes open to? And what do you hope people take away?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I make films, I hope, is to, move people and maybe change hearts and minds about anything that the subject may be exploring. And, when we talked about making the film early on, all of us, Will, Harper, myself, and producing partners sort of said, I don't see this, nor do I want it to be a quote-unquote political film. It's a very personal film. It is about, two people, two friends. And I think through that, more people will come, I think, to the table and be open and listen. And, I hope people see themselves in Will and see themselves in Harper and see their friendships that they have in their own life reflected in this friendship and this relationship. I'm optimistic. The feedback thus far has been really positive, but I just, there's a moment in the film where Harper talks about how she doesn't have to hide anymore and how she just gets to be. And it's a reminder that, like, that is all she and all of us want, is to be our truth, to be ourselves and be allowed to be ourselves in this world. And so if this film can help in any small way that happen for everyone and for us to see one another, we kind of found over the course of the film that the truism that it's hard to hate up close holds true. And so the more we can see one another, and maybe stay off online, and and get to know one another and look at one another and realize that we're so much more alike than we are different, I think the better off we'll be. So hopefully this film can help us continue in that direction.
Thank you so much for sharing all that with me. And again, huge congratulations. I was really moved, and it made me laugh as well. So it's
great.
two great things.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for your time. Lovely to meet you.